Welcome back to Easy Off Grid. It is Monday, January 20th. It's just after 5 p.m. And it's actually cloudy here. Unbelievable. It's actually sprinkling a little bit. Interesting. Okay, so these are going to be some new additions to the property in the future. These are Colorado blue spruce. They came in a much smaller pot. I got them at Lowe's, and they were much smaller themselves. So on this one you can see the darker green branches inside. That's what the entire tree was when I bought them 2 months ago, a month ago. All of this lighter green stuff at the tips and most of this whole tree is all new growth. It's quite a bit actually. And I've got a new trick for the soil that I'm using that I just started trying, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. Also, I'm doing something different with the water. So in the past I've just been filling everything up with water hose, but in this town that I live in, the water is highly chlorinated. So I'll show you what I do here in a minute. But anyways, these look like they're doing great. Tons of new growth on them. Yeah, so I think they're going to do pretty good. Alright, let's take inside and see what else we got going on up in here. So I started a new batch of tree seedlings. What we have here, it's hard to see with this light. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to turn these off for a second. And where's it at? Okay, so I don't know how well you guys can see them, but these the larger ones here, these are ponderosa pines, and then these smaller ones, you can see the difference in size. They germinated at the same time. These right here are Douglas firs. So there's a huge difference in the way they look when they germinate. All these little guys up front here, these are all Douglas firs. So, except for those tall ones in the back right here. So, anyhow, I bought all this on Amazon. These, if I can show it to you, these are like the perfect size to start a seedling. I don't know how tall these are. Probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches, probably 2.5 inches. You know what? Let me grab a tape measure and I can tell you better. Oh, sorry guys, I'm using a cell phone right now. Let's see. So, they're about 3 inches. 3 inches deep and about 2 inches at the top in width. They have these little slits at the bottom. So, yeah, I got these on Amazon. Got the little trays that they sit in on Amazon. There's some places you can get them locally, but I couldn't find them at Home Depot. So that's usually where I shop for any of my potting materials. But couldn't find these at Home Depot. So I had to order them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Now, so with these seeds, all of these, I started them, I think, in sometime like late October. I think it was. Yeah, I think late October. Soaked all these seeds for 24 hours just in a cup of water. Just let them sit, and then put them in some damp paper towel. Throw the paper towel, once you wrap up the seeds, throw the paper towel in a Ziploc bag. And then I threw them in the bottom of my fridge out here in the garage. And they sat sat down there for I don't know, the last 2.5 months or 2 months or so, and then pulled them out, set them on the counter inside, and within 2 or 3 days they were all coming to life. So that's usually how I do my seeds. A lot of times with the ponderosa pines and the Douglas firs, you can get away with not doing the cold stratification. Okay, for whatever reason, these seeds, you just soak them for 24 hours in water, stick them in damp paper towel, put them in a Ziploc bag, and throw them on the counter in your kitchen for a few days, and they will come to life. But this was kind of a timed thing. I planned on doing them now, so I'd figure I'd go the traditional method and just do the whole cold stratification. So that's what I did. Now the soil, I'm going to show you real quick. You guys are going to have to mind or excuse my little disaster out here. The weather last week just tossed this, and I didn't even notice it till today because I don't come out here very often. But I generally use just the Miracle Grow potting mix. That's generally what I use for my all of my stuff here. And I'll come back out here in a second. But what I'm doing now, and I think I've just about run out of it. I think I am out of it. Oh, here it is. Started using, come on, worm castings. I got these on Amazon. This stuff's pretty expensive for what it is. So, you know, do what you will, but it says it's 1 part to 3 for best results. I didn't mix it nearly that concentrated because I don't have enough of this stuff to go around, but this stuff is really good for your plants, your trees, whatever. Stuff is really good for them. So I usually take mostly potting mix, and then I sprinkle some of this on top just to change the color of the top of the soil, and that's when I know I've got enough that I'm going to use. And now what I've started doing for my trees is this stuff right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is called Myco Apply. It's mycorrhizal fungi is what it is. Started looking into this about a year ago and never really pulled the trigger on it until now. But this stuff is supposed to be like crack for your plants. Basically, it's not a supplement. It's a fungus is what it is, and it gets to your this one in particular. Yeah, there's 2 different types of mycorrhizal fungi. Okay, here, let me get the other one and I'll show you what that one looks like. I bought it by mistake, but I'm going to end up using it anyways. So this is the one that I initially bought, and it was the wrong one. So you can see what it does is it'll attach to the roots, and it'll basically create an extended network of, it's kind of like roots, but it's really fungus spreading throughout your soil in like a root type of fashion. But it helps suck up more nutrients and get moisture out of the soil. It's an extension of your roots. And the fungi, they live off your roots, and then your roots obviously they benefit from the fungi. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. This is more for plants, vegetables, fruits, herbs, and flowers. This is the man, there's 2 different types. I should have had this figured out before I started recording, but it says on here somewhere. Anyways, do your research. There's 2 different types. This one doesn't, how do I explain it? Of course, somebody has to start doing their flipping yard while I'm recording. Sorry guys, I'm gonna close my damn garage. Oh yeah, and by the way, just thought I'd show you this. My wife got me this, I don't know, a few years ago. I like it. Okay, here it is right here. This is what you need to look for when you're looking for mycorrhizal fungi. Okay, endo and ecto. See if I can find it on here. One of them, I can't remember what it is. One of them's the endo is good for plants, and then the other, like the ecto, is good for tree roots. Anyways, it's on here. I can't find it right now because I'm looking for it. So anyways, just do your research on it. But what this does, this has both. So the fungus in this, it'll basically burrow into the root and become a part of the root system. This one's similar, but it doesn't work so well with the like the tree roots, because they're a harder root system, I guess. That's kind of how I understand it. This one works better with the softer root system. So, haven't tried this one yet. Just started using this, and that's what I started using in my soil. So, for the seedlings and the two Colorado blue spruce out front, that's what I'm using. I'm using the Miracle Grow potting mix, or what is it, potting soil? There's two different types. I forget what I get. It's the mix. Yeah, potting mix. Oh, there's Sadie. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. Here, let's say hi to Sadie. Sadie. Hi, baby. Okay. Anyways, I use the potting mix, I use the worm casting, and I use the mycorrhizal fungi. That's it. This stuff is also very expensive. This little bag was like 30 bucks, I think. And I want to show you what this stuff looks like. I'm gonna have to put you down here for a second, guys. So, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I'm gonna look at my tape measure, or not. All right. All right. This stuff is a powder. But it's not really powder. I can't really get you a good look in there, but it's you can't even, I don't even know if you can see it. There's like, it looks like smoke coming out of the bag right now. Those are fungus spores. If I you can almost see it wafting out of the bag there. Anyways, super fine. So the deal with this stuff is it just has to come in contact with the roots of whatever you're planting. And you don't need a ton of it. Alright? Just a fine sprinkle or whatever. Touch the roots, and then put your plants in soil. So, for instance, my seedlings, when I pulled them out of the paper towel after the root had started popping out of the seed pod here, it was just a short little root like this. I just poked little holes in the soil, sprinkled some of the mycorrhizal fungi in there, and then stuck the seedling in there. Right? And what I do with these usually is I'll just put the root in the hole and leave the seed pod. If you can focus on it, I'll just leave that right on top of the soil, and then it'll grow up like this. But this stuff's supposed to just be insanely great for your plants and your trees. So this will be for plants, this will be for trees. The only thing I would say about this stuff is because of how fine it is and because of what it is, it's a fungus. For someone like me who gets like crazy allergies and I have to take a pill daily for it, you may consider wearing a mask when using this stuff, because it will like turn into a fog right around you when you're working with it. It's so fine, it'll go up into the air and you'll end up sucking in your nose. So if you're allergic to this kind of stuff, wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask because I take my pill every day and it didn't really affect me, but it is super, super fine fungus spores is what it is. So just keep that in mind. So I'm using a stupid, cheap, fluorescent grow light. According to them it was a grow light, but had it for years. And then I'm using it like a 300 watt whatever you call it, Spectrum grow light. Got that on Amazon a while back. Works pretty good, but you just have to have it closer to the plants at first, and as the plants grow up you raise the lights up higher and higher. So we'll see how this goes. I've not had very good success here in the desert with seedlings because I end up putting them outside in the spring, and then it gets super hot at the end of spring here, and they don't do so well in the heat. So I'm going to try to keep them in the garage all year under these lights until I can get them a bit larger, up to the point where I can transplant them into a larger container to develop the roots even further so they don't dry out and die so much in the heat here. And then once they're about 2 years old, maybe, I'll take them up and plant them at the property. Now let's go out here. I'll show you what I got going on. Okay, so how I water my plants now is I fill up buckets of water, let them sit for at least 24 hours, and then I use the water from the buckets. What that does is it releases all the chlorine from the water, it evaporates out and leaves you with just water and no chlorine. And I think that's been helping me out also. So all these tall things right here, and this really big one in the back, those are moringa trees that I started from seed not too long ago, maybe 5 months ago. These won't grow any taller because I got them in these little bitty tiny pots down here. They haven't grown in size at all in probably, I don't know, 2 months or so. But this one, you can see it's much larger because of the much larger pot. But here's another manzanita. It's doing great. These are my Jeffrey pines. So they weren't looking too good a month ago, but it looks like they're starting to come back. I've had these here for about 1.5 years. Shh, quiet dog. It's one of my apple trees. It's not been doing so great. It's doing better now, but at one point it was almost dead. But this is a peach tree. And then these guys right here, I don't know if you can see them. There's that one, there's this one here, and then this one right here. Those are blight-resistant chestnut trees, American chestnut trees. I'm going to try those out up there. They haven't come to life yet. They're still dormant, I guess you could say. I should probably give these some water. And then still have my maple trees back here that I started a couple years ago, and they're not, they haven't really done anything, so who knows. That's my blueberry bush that I started from a cutting. It's pretty big. It's just it's kind of dormant for the winter. And I got a ponderosa pine back there, and I think that's a cherry tree in the back right there. Anyways, that's what I got going on here right now. Not a whole lot. So, anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the trees, and what I'm doing, and how I'm doing the soil now. And hopefully I have better success. We'll see. This will be, I think, my third attempt at doing seedlings. And this is probably the largest scale that I've done it. And what I do is I leave one of these trays out so I can pour water in here and let them absorb the water from the bottom. So they'll suck in the water from the bottom. I just put water in here about, I don't know, 4 hours ago, and it took all the water in. So same thing over here. Anyways, that's what I got going on right now, guys. Again, I have these two lights hooked up to a timer back there. They run for about, I don't know, 14 hours a day, and then they shut off at night. So, alright guys, that's it. That's all I've got for you now. Probably won't do another video until I go back up to the property in February. Alright guys? Okay, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.